So Bravo of this problem says decide with your team if 1600 divided by 75 is the same problem as 16 divided by 0 and 75 hundredths. Why or why not? So what I'm going to do for this problem, just because normally I was doing this in class over on the sideboard. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to bring over my index card here. So it's asking us if we have 1600 divided by 75, is that the same as, equal to, has an equivalent value of 16 divided by 0 and 75 hundredths. So we're asking, is this true? Is this a true statement? So I want you to compare the two numerators. What do you notice about them? Compare the two denominators. Sometimes students get frustrated with these just because we've got a really large number and a decimal. So if I did it this way, where I have let me change that. So I have this one right here where they're integers. So I have 20 divided by 1. I have 200 divided by 10. So if I have 20 divided by 1, that equals 20. And if I have 200 divided by 10, that equals also 20. So while these two are different looking, they end up with the same value. And part of that is because I can take my 20 divided by 1 and multiply it by 10 over 10 to get 200 over 10. So because I can do that, that means they're equivalent fractions. So as I'm looking at these, if I take, and sometimes kids don't like for the smaller number to be on this side. So if I have 16 over 0 and 7500, what can I multiply by? Both my numerator and my denominator, right? So I want to multiply by a 1 in a giant one. So that I end up with 1600 over 75. Some kids can see that 16 times something equals 1600 would be 100. What do I multiply 0 and 75 hundredths by to make it just 75? So if I look at how I move my decimals, that helps me. So if I move my decimal one spot, that's multiplying by 10. 2 spots is multiplying by 100. So because I have a giant 1 right here, that means they are equal to each other. They're equivalent fractions. So when I'm looking back over here at this, 1600 divided by 75 is the same as 16 divided by 0 and 75 hundredths because they have the same value. And the way that I can prove that is if I have 16 over 0 and 75 hundredths, and I multiply that by, so remember, this is just a horizontal division problem. This is just a vertical one. It looks like a fraction because a fraction is division. So I'm going to multiply that just like we did on that card by 100 over 100. And that gives me 1600 because 16 times 100 is 1600 over 75 because I would move my decimal 2 spots because I have 2 zeros there. Just like we could say right here, bloop, bloop.